Hello and welcome. In this video, we will go through how to send a text message to an AWS SQS queue using Infor Coleman Digital Assistance skill. This is a simple demo how to integrate Infor service, in our case Coleman DA, with AWS services, in our case SQS. This diagram shows the steps involved in the integration for this goal. We have Infor, which is our enterprise application, which use the Coleman DA, that is a service that invoke an Ion API that contain an endpoint of Amazon SQS. Why we want to use this kind of integration? Well, actually, sometimes we need to trigger some action from one application to another, and the way in which we can achieve this goal is sending, for example, a text message from the Coleman to an AWS SQS, which trigger behind the scene some activity like, for example, the Lambda function or the SNS services. To achieve this goal, we need to have basically three components. So we need to have an Amazon SQS queue, we need to have the Coleman DA skill deployed, and we need to have the Ion API suite installed in our environment. Let's start by checking or creating an SQS queue in AWS. In our case, we have already created a queue, but if you don't have a queue in your environment, just click on the Create Queue button on the right side and create one. Now let's check that the AWS skill has been deployed in Coleman. If you are not in the Coleman Assistant app, just click on the username on the navbar and select Coleman skill, and you write to this page, as I'm going to show you now in the screen. So just click on here and click on the Coleman skill and you write to this page. The next step is checking the AWS SQS custom API suite in the Ion API gateway. And to do this, you can click on the app switcher menu on the left corner, and you can select the Ion API icon. In this case, we already are in the Ion API. We need to search for AWS SQS Custom API Suite. So you can click on there, and then you need to drill down to the detail of this definition. In this page, we need to check that the target endpoint security information has been filled in. So in the authentication type, we need to select the AWS signature, and we need to provide a couple of mandatory fields like AWS access key, AWS secret access key, the AWS region, and the AWS services. On the left side, we need to provide the target endpoint URL. So let's see where we can get this data from. From the AWS console, type in the search box the text user, and from the list below, select the user link and click on there. You arrive to the users page in which you have your user that you are logged in. So click on the link of your user. In the next page, you need to select the security credential tab. In this case, as you can see, we already have some access key created. In your case, if you don't have any access key created, just click the Create Access Key and follow the instruction to retrieve the access key and the security access key that you need provided to the Ion API configuration. And you can see on the right side, on the top, there is a drop box in which there is the list of the region. In our case, we are using the region US East 2 here, which is this one. The service is the SQS service, so we provide the SQS service. On the target endpoint URL, we need to combine the services, which is the SQS, plus the AWS region plus the domain of the Amazon Web Services. In this case, we can create the target endpoint. For the proxies content, for consistencies, we can provide also the SQS text. Now that we have checked all the components, let's test the Coleman skill to send a message to the SQS queue. To test the skill, we have two options. First of all, we need to click on the icon beside the Start Typing text box, which open the Coleman application. And we can test via providing a command, text command, or we can provide a voice command. Let's start with the text command. In order to trigger this skill, we need to type a command which is send text. Coleman receive the command and ask us to provide a message. In our case, we want to provide this kind of a message. Once we enter this, Coleman asks if we are sure that we want to send this message, and we reply with a yes. And then Coleman suggests to check our queue. Now let's have a look to the queue in AWS. We are here in our queue. What we have to do, we need to click on the queue here. From this page, we need to select send and receive a message. And from here, we need to select pull for messages. We see that we have an ID on the button. And if we click on the ID, we see that we have the text that we have provided from the Coleman skill. The other way to test the skill is making a voice command. And in order to do that, what we have to do, we need to click on the microphone icon here, and we need to send voice command. Send text.
Tell me the message.
Demo test from Coleman.
Are you sure?
Yes. Okay, now we need to check our queue, and let's go to our queue here and click again pull for messages. And as you can see, we have another ID, and if we click the ID, which is the latest one, we can see also the message that we got here. This concluded the demo, and for any reference, please check the link in the description below to the other video.